Shall we begin? Shall we begin? So, this is my reaction video to Shotti, to Melly, talking about Jim Jones didn't tell. Jim Jones ends up on a phone, on a federal wiretap, with Jim Jones actually ending up being on the other side of the phone with Melly. They bugged Jim Jones' line, listened to and played no conversations, no other conversations with Melly and anybody else. They played the conversation and leaked the conversation with Melly's big homie of the set, which is Jim Jones. See, even when you look at it, right? When you sit back and you analyze the game, by default, Jim Jones is under federal investigation. Jim Jones have been picked up and questioned for multiple cases. And Jim Jones just so happened to be the nigga that the feds in the state can't get. Over 20 years of committing crimes. But for some reason, the United States Marshals, the FBI, the CIA, the DEA, nobody can get him. Miss me with that. It is what it is, man. See, first and foremost, right? I'm going to tell y'all like this. When you sit back and you analyze Melly and Shotti, to me, you got to question, for one, these niggas went and got CEO Chris. Saw that he had money. He flossing on these broke niggas. And y'all let him into the set. I'm going to say that again. Heel up, wheel up, break it back up, rewind. So you got Melly sitting up there acting like a groupie. Give me that groupie love. You give me that group, like a groupie. You see a man with diamonds, with chains, with bricks, and with cash in his pocket, and automatically you open up the doors to the kingdom. You open up the doors to the set. You open up the doors to Zamunda from a dude that y'all don't even know from a can of paint. And the whole time, CEO Chris, the dude that brought them down, not Tekashi 6ix9ine. Tekashi 6ix9ine was just extra. He ended up telling because they kidnapped him, beat him, and slept with his girl, did everything that he said they did, they did. So, y'all got caught up in a spider web called CEO Chris because y'all had poor judgment and y'all couldn't see through the traps that was being set. So if you couldn't see through CEO Chris while he was setting y'all up the whole time, how do you think that I'm supposed to respect your judgment, Melly, your judgment, Shotti, when it comes to Jim Jones? See, the reality of it is, right, for Jim Jones to be the nigga that got away, why he keep acting like on camera like he still wants to get caught? As if he know he has a get out of jail free card. He even went out of his way to sit up there and say he was on America's Most Wanted, in which he lied. It wasn't him on America's Most Wanted. It was one of his soldiers that was involved in a shooting of a child. And he bragged and he boasted about that, knowing that he should have been quiet and keeping himself distant. But he's trying to sell you this lifestyle of being that nigga in the streets when we all know that he's not. But scratch that. See, the thing about it is, man, to all of you dudes out here in the streets, Y'all got to understand something. I've been around for a long time, and I've seen a lot. And the reality of it is, even when I sit back, and I tell y'all all the time on my lives, you sit back and you analyze all of these dudes that have been released from the feds and the state, like all these dudes, especially from the feds, they releasing all these dudes. You think for a single second that that wasn't part of their plan? To infiltrate us? They know that the world is getting ready to turn upside down, literally. The poles are shifting. The earth is getting ready to flip upside down. And then in the process of that, they have to make sure that they have eyes and ears in the hood. So you think for a single second that I even trust all of these dudes that they release them from the penitentiary? Everybody, and see, they being smart about it. They say, okay, we can't just give this one here time cut and that one here time cut. No, we're going to give a bunch of them. We're going to flood so many of these dudes out of the penitentiary. We're going to flood the cities with so many of them that they can't question it, or it's going to make it believable. Oh, we passed the bill to release prisoners. No, you're being infiltrated all over again. Nigga, this is the Thanksgiving dinner. You know, Thanksgiving, the pilgrimage. They came, had dinner with you. They gave you blankets with smallpox. I ain't watched the movie Malcolm X. Get your hand out of my pocket. I'm like, listen, man. We've been being rocked to sleep from the beginning of time. That's why we used to own the world and now we don't own it no more. That's my take on the situation. Everybody is an agent when you dealing in the matrix. And until you think like that, you're going to find yourself ended up in the penitentiary. That's why I tell people all the time, like, listen, man, the streets ain't for everybody. And it ain't because you ain't tough. You ain't built for the streets. The streets is a dead end. Because the same dudes that's screaming the loudest that they the toughest and they the illest nigga in Nebraska, now they in the penitentiary dropping their flag. And you know why they dropping their flag? They're dropping their flag because a lot of them dudes, they not dropping their flag in the state where they can stick their chests out. They dropping their flag in the federal penitentiary because some of these dudes, man, and I've been hearing stories. I ain't gonna even blow nobody up. You know how many stories I heard about some of these dudes that y'all think is tough? And they ended up getting caught out there in them California jails. The stories I could tell y'all, but with them inmates, man, listen, man. The state is a totally different ball game when you can sit up there and have 30,000 inmates behind you. Whereas in the feds, nobody respects New York. Them sets that y'all be claiming, no, nobody respect them dudes. Not in them other states. Y'all better pay attention to your circle before they hurt you. Because the reality of it is, man, in the streets, you get a dude that did 10 years in jail. Come home from jail. Not a year later, get locked up all over again. Got one of the baddest shorties in the streets. And she's telling him, if you don't tell, I'm going to leave you. What you think he going to do? What you think they doing? Some of these dudes that went to jail when they first bid, told me I ain't telling on nobody. They didn't have nobody to tell on. Some of these niggas, everybody that went to jail wasn't somebody. Some of these dudes was bums. It is what it is, man. Y'all can believe whatever you want to. Because the reality of it is, even if Jim Jones, let's just say he wasn't cooperating. The music industry is ran by the feds. The music industry also is a pipeline to the prison system. So by default, by him sitting up there pushing that gang mentality, and all of our children, you know, like the TV show, all of our children, flop into that lifestyle. See, in life, the most beautiful things in the world is surrounded by the hellfire. Everything that glitter ain't gold. And when you go and you grab for those beautiful things, a lot of the times dudes end up in the penitentiary. And the sad part about it is a lot of those times, the dudes that end up in the penitentiary, they end up doing so much time. When they come back, they ain't got no more energy for the streets. They come home looking for a job. The reality of it is, for those of y'all that's sitting up there thinking to yourself, and I know you thinking, oh, Melly coming home. Shotti coming home. They only got 12 years. Do y'all niggas know how old Melly and Shotti's gonna be when they come home? You know what it's like to be 45, 50 years old in your 50s? And before you went to jail, or rather before Tekashi, niggas was sleeping in clubhouses and broke. So now the only thing that the only thing that Melly has left at 50, no education, most likely. And even if he did, it doesn't matter. He got a crazy criminal record. And he's a bird brain. He can't think past go. And he coming home at 50 years old in his 50s? He needs Jim Jones. Why would he bite the hand that feed him? Of course them niggas is going to sit up there. They don't have Tekashi no more. They don't have Tekashi no more. That reign is over. Tekashi rapping in Spanish now. That's his way of saying he don't need the black community no more. He's rapping in Spanish. It's over. Why would them dudes bite the hand that feed them? So that they could come home from jail and be sleeping in some grown woman's couch? That's my take. It is what it is. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, and pay attention to your circle before they hurt you. It's safe to say it ain't safe outside. All these dudes that's coming home from the federal penitentiary, from the state penitentiary, these niggas is compromised. So when you sitting up there and you looking at them like, oh, son is official, ain't nobody official out here. Nobody could be trusted, man. Go get a job. Trust that 9 to 5 or start your own business because the streets is over. They washed up. They've been washed up. I'm out.